Hey friends and family, hey loved ones. I'm in a super interesting place right now and so very humbled going through this grief process and growth and tower collapsing, healing, holding, becoming, integrating, shedding old layers, showing up as I am, accepting myself as I am, and wanting to share that, being the mess and the beauty and the love, and the imperfect masterpiece and work in progress that I am. And just having some huge realizations and downloads and things, and huge realizations in my process of healing, and in the course of events that have unfolded for me, just so beautifully, like the love and the life and the death of my mother, and how that's broken open so many things for me in so many ways. Brought back the importance of family, in so many ways, and our connections, our interconnections, and what's really important to me. And so it's broken me open and broken open my heart. And so there's so many things that are available and accessible to me at this time. And just being willing to let go of judgments and expectations and old programming and things and defenses and rigidities, and all those shoulds and shouldn't be's. And so it is a really valuable, potent time to share some things, even though I feel really oh my god, just destabilized and vulnerable and just all crazy, weird, strange, whatever, spinning. So rooting deep and, remembering, and seeing all this love, that helps me remember myself, when everything else seems to be dissolving, it's dying, but there's so much life and so much love. Where there is love, there is life, and where there is life, there is love, and just remembering that joy and seeing the life and the love all around me. And it's exquisite and beautiful and precious to me. And I know some people haven't really understood or, interpreted my love and my energy, and my efforts and my actions and my expressions of love and gestures of, affection and creativity, or, just my ways of being. And it's felt really painful, this wound of separation and everything. But, I wouldn't change anything, with this beautiful life that I see, that I've had. A lot of reflections and a lot of deep looking into, who I really am in these last couple of years and my whole life, really. But really, when everything was falling apart and coming back together in a new way. And that's what I can be grateful for, too. and laying new foundations and rebuilding after a storm and taking like some time and having that space to retreat and take up my own space and be like who I am and honor that space really and allow like all these things to unfold and allow all the healing taking place. Because it all really is for me and we. And if I can allow that, and I can allow that space for me and for me to be like me, and allow this expression that I've been given to be to express and be like this being for the whole, and have and hold all that compassion and that love and that appreciation for everyone and every whole soul, like all the diversity and all the beauty that I see all around me. I can't even believe like all the beauty that I see, like all of us really and truly, like every color and every creed and like every tradition and every being. I just hold so much respect for, really, like our perceptions, our experiences, our beauty, everything that we've gone through, like our experiences, our lives, like the gifts that we are, like really and truly. Like there's no way to put that into words and like to express that and articulate that for me, but like I know that I hold that within me, and I know that other beings can relate and see that and feel that and know the exquisite beauty that we are, like this tapestry and this beautiful story that's playing out like through each of us. And it just puts so many things into perspective, like when like we have like this major loss and major change in our lives, to like when someone that we love so much too, and like that we have so much history with and that means so much to us, and like that has shaped our whole lives, when they transition and then when they die, or when, like they're not with us like in the same way that they were before, and they're, like, yeah, it's just, it's such a potent time and so life altering and changing, and just like the love and the impact that they had like for us, it just means so much more to us. And just like everything about life and the life that we're living and the life that we have and the life that we give and the life that we are and the life we've been given, like it just means so much more. And so I just want to thank my mom for those things. And so there's been so much that's come up for me, like with these things, and unfolding in my own life, in my own tapestry too, like with forgiveness and realizations and soul retrieval, and going back to certain parts of my life, and where certain parts of my energy and my love got frozen and stuck. And yeah, like the power like that I thought I had to give away or relinquish, like in order like to be worthy or to be loved or to receive something for myself. Yeah, how I misused that, and how it got siphoned from me, and like how I learned to distrust me, and chose to go against me and compartmentalize and all those things. Like, it was a really hard year in my 15th year. And that's where a lot of major deaths happened, where I lost my mom. She left our family. She had to go through her own thing. And I have so much compassion for her, for where she was at, and I understand it. And at the time, I took it so personally because, like, I was scapegoated in the family at the time, like, by her, and I acted out, like, in certain ways, like, for the family and for myself and for my own soul's growth. But, like, it's, like, so interesting to see now in hindsight, like, the things, like, that unfolded in those years. But yeah, just looking back on my 15th year, yeah, that was like where a lot of stuff, like crazy stuff, happened, and it was like just so intense. And I had to, like, to protect myself, like, adapt some certain strategies, like, for reals, to protect myself and my soul, and like everything that was so just confusing and bombarding me at the time. And it was just, I don't even know, like, sometimes how we can go through, like, so much trauma in a lot of ways, like, you know, and how hard, like, some things can feel sometimes. Especially for those of us who are so sensitive and just want to love and be loved. You know, and I think that's true for all of us too. And so, yeah, I do thank my mom for the role she's played, you know, for all of us and for me, like, to, like, so that I could come back to myself and love myself and know myself. And I'm just looking at this picture of me and my mom that my daughter took. And I don't know if it will be visible at all, but here it is. And what I see about it too, like, she looks at me with such love, with such sweetness and such admiration, and she's just looking at me and she's just loving me and enjoying my presence, and she can't even believe, like, how much she loves me, and she's just like, "Aw, you are just the sweetest little thing." Like, it's just the way that I look at my granddaughter, and like, I just know that feeling, like, this, it's pure love. And that's how she wants me to see myself. Like, and I got that message today. Going through some of the things that I needed to today. When I've been crying so much and having sobbing fits. And they just, like, come in waves. And then it's just, like, done. It's just like, whoa, that was interesting and that was intense. And whoa, and just like, oh, feeling all puffy and clearing out the sinuses and everything, but like, and then moving on to something else, and then it comes again, and it's just like, whoa, and there's just so much to process, and but just this beautiful gift of grief, and going through so many things and remembering so many things and letting go of so many things and appreciating and blessing and celebrating so many things and all that we are, really, and all the love that there is, and oh my God, like, all the lessons and just the aha profound things. And what music, like, brings up too, and how we can alchemize certain things through, like, our pain and our suffering, And like how like a lot of the music when I was a teen did uh help me connect to certain things that I didn't want to feel, but like that could make them so relatable and easier to feel and connect to, like in certain ways. And so like all this angst and suffering with the grunge and the punk music and like just like acting it out and feeling it out. And yeah, to feel that permission, like to feel those emotions in certain ways, like, and that music helped us like with some of those things. And so um some of me wants to judge like some of the music and the ways that it was created, or you know, to influence us in certain ways, like, but um yeah, uh it really has been a gift, and music and song and everything, it is such a part of who we are and how it helps us know ourselves and see ourselves and free ourselves. And so, yeah, one of the favorite bands that I could connect with in my teenage years when I was going through like a really hard time, like it was like the best stuff ever, was Alice in Chains. And like looking back on all of the symbolism and like what that really, yeah, means to me now too is so trippy. But like what I've realized in the last couple days about like, yeah, just letting myself love what I love, and being drawn to like something that holds something for me, instead of judging it or rejecting it, like that's just like, you know, instead of throwing out the baby with the bathwater, and just like following certain threads and things, and like, whoa, yeah, just kind of appreciating what it holds and has for me, and just following these threads and letting it be alchemy, um, and being all that it is, really, and more than I know. So here it goes. This is what I wrote today about like hearing this song on 432 hertz, and it brought back a lot of memories. And yeah, this is a really good song to nutshell, and it is profound, like in a lot of ways. So Alice in Chains, Nutshell. It's pretty pleasant and it's profound. If I can't be my own, I'd feel better dead. Oh, if I can't be myself and be true to myself, that is a slow death, a disconnect from my own soul, and so very painful. Oh, this painful death, like this wound of separation. It's been so hard, like to be separate from God and to be separate from my own love and my own like love for myself, my own knowing, my own remembrance of myself, like who I really am, like, and it's just been so painful to like feel this cut off self, and all the things that I had to do, like to protect myself, you know, and so just like kind of letting go of all those things. That's like what it brings up, and it helps me remember and see. And so it is like a joyous thing instead of a negative thing, like even though like these are heavy, dense things. So it really, that's where it's like singing it with love and joy, like earlier, like it really does help me, and I thank it like for showing me like these things, like in this alchemy. And so like it was really painful, like, yeah, no one to cry to, no place to call home. Like when I was disconnected from my soul, I didn't have that place to call home, and that heart like to come home to, that soul to come home to, that place to come home to. There was no like place. And it was, yeah, me wandering without a home and felt like the orphan, you know. But like coming home now, like, it's just so beautiful. And that's why I'm like smiling too. Like, because I know I've always been loved and I can see that love in my mom's face. Like, now. And all of her cards and the expressions and the things she shared with me. I know she felt loved and she knew my love and she loved me. And that's so what I need. I needed that. Like, I needed that for me. And I did love that. You know, I mean, I do love that. And I loved her. And I know she loved me. And I started to love me and myself, like, in the ways that I needed for me. And then that's when I realized and I really did see, yeah, that it's always been here, and it's always been me, and it's always been we. And she always has loved me, but like it didn't like feel like that sometimes in my life because she forgot, you know, like her love that she needed for her, you know, for her own self too. And it's just like new levels of compassion and love and empathy and forgiveness and all those things too. Like that we play all of these things out for each other, like so we can remember like our love for we and who we get to be and who we get to choose. To be like and receive and live and embody, like remembering ourselves like through this presence and this absence, like this lack and this separation, this abundance and this liberation, this union, like and reunion after a period of separation. And so, like, coming back home to ourselves and seeing that it is, like, all one, and it is, like, all love, and, like, all those things that helped us come back to ourselves that were so painful, like, really. And knowing the truth, and celebrating the truth, and seeing the truth, and the love all around us, and, being expressed in so many beautiful ways through so many of us, like all of us. Love always. And I know, like, there's been so much pain and sorrow and grief, and it's just like, yeah, that's what like really hurt and killed me. Like, I just didn't know what to do with it. It was so hard to take, like, living in this world where there's so much pain. And taking it on and absorbing it all and feeling responsible for everything that was wrong and seeing everything in life and myself as wrong. And seeing what was really true about it too, like, because being sucked up in that pain of being alone and unworthy and unloved and unseen and all those things, not allowed to be, like not right to be, you know, and that was the pain of it and everything. Like, if I can't be myself, if I can't like be my own love, if I can't share myself, if I can't live my life, if I can't live my love, like I'd rather be dead, like, you know. And so it's just like kind of like that self-destructive mindset, because and our like infatuation or sometimes idealism or romanticization of death, like it'd be better to be dead than to be here because it's so painful and hard, you know, sometimes, like for some of us. And that's like, yeah, just like feeling for my teenage emo self, like before there was emo or before there was goth or before there was any of that. you know, um, I remember sitting in my room listening to Metallica and like folding my arms like I was in a coffin and just take me, just like, or, like death. like, and just being so tired of it all, like, and just feeling so sad about everything and just like all the suffering. But yeah, gone through my own things, and so it just brings it all back, like with what I was going through, like some major ego deaths, and like kind of looking at the astrology of that time in my life too, and like how it is right now as well. Where yeah, there's a lot of stuff being shaken up, and a lot of death and rebirth, transformation energy, and it's just but there is so much grace really too. And one thing I realized today was like, I see now where I've been denying myself my own grace, God's grace, where I've been denying myself like my own love and God's love for me. And that was like a really in so many ways like such a beautiful thing to see, but in another way it was like a really harsh kind of a thing, like where I have been so hard and judgmental with me, like where that light of the judge like has been illuminated, where it's taken like a huge chunk of my attention, or like been like that forefront or focus of my mind, like where there's been like this huge like spotlight and shining around, like looking for all these like things that can be picked apart and judged, and like I've used a lot of my mental energy and creative energy, like I've seen a lot of energy leaks. And yeah, so like writing a lot the last couple days, just because like there's stuff that I needed to express, and I made the space for that. Like I had seen where I've been distracting myself so much with external noise and things, and responsibilities, but yeah, now that space has been made, and just kind of looking at things and seeing like all of these things, and kind of doing this soul retrieval, and massive letting go and surrendering, and being open like to everything, really being in this like vulnerable state, but also being like self-protective, but still willing, to be transparent and open, like with so many things. So it's just the most interesting place to be too, like being so confused but clear at the same time, and being so imperfect but perfect, and ultimate, like whole and full, and yeah, just fine where I'm at. Yeah, at the same time, so terrified and secure and calm, and it's such a paradox, like really like weird. Just gotta let it all go, and be secure, like in these forms that are ever changing and that are going to transform, so that other people can go through their own mess and their own crisis and their own death, and know they can come out through the other side too. So we can have our freak outs and they don't have to look as pretty as we want them to be either. So. Anyways, I think my phone's gonna die, and I just want to share, what this song, nutshell, because it is a nutshell. Like, really, it contains a whole lot in just a few, lines. It's a poem. It's a story. This song, these lyrics. And, the way that Lane Staley sang them, wow. And I don't even know, how else to say thank you for, love that's expressed and, the art that comes through, the collective heart of humanity and through, the individual artists, that touch our hearts and do, influence and affect our lives. Really, and that's why we kind of deify them in certain ways, and we project certain things onto them too. And so that's interesting to see into. But really, I have compassion for all of us, in those, the tortured artists and, that archetype. Yeah. And so if I can't be myself and be true to myself, then that is a slow death, a disconnect from my own soul. And it's so very painful. There's no one to cry to. There's no place to call home. And so, we chase misprinted lies. We face the path of time. Letting go of expectations and unrealistic images and standards of false, frozen, static, rigid perfectionism, idealism, moralism, self-righteousness, self-loathing, and self-rejection. So my gift of self is raped, judgments and restrictions, self-inflicted punishments, and denial of love and grace, denying ourselves our own love, compassion, and grace, healing the wounds of separation and the pain of the split. Oh, the rough. So if I can't be my own, I'd feel better dead. Yeah, if I can't be myself and be true to myself, if I can't be my own self, that is a slow death, a disconnect from my own soul. What's keeping me from being whole and being myself and being the love that I am because of old strategies, old wounds, old learned behaviors, old programs, and all those things, addictions, I can see it, and it's interesting, so I'll just leave it at that. And that's why it was such a perfect and profound song, to show me a lot of things. And my gift of self is raped, and that judgments and restrictions, how I learned to turn that lens around on me to self-police me because of avoidance of pain and all of those things. But what really heals that for me and in myself is seeing the beauty that pain showed me, to show me where I could show up for myself. And that mother wound, really in the father wound and the wounded child. Like, that's what's coming up to be healed. And so the next page here that I had written was the return of the mother, the true mother, and the cosmic goddess, like the cosmic mother, the goddess and the divine feminine wisdom, the wholeness and inclusivity, the interconnection and unity, creator and creation as one, coming together as one whole in love after a long period of separation, coming together in whole new ways for the benefit of all, through the integrity of the whole, through grace, forgiveness, and compassion, trust, faith, and mercy, empathy, and reconnection. And so it was like the divine union of the masculine and the feminine. And I got to see that in my family and in myself, like in these last couple months that have been really so painful and full of change and transformation, really. But it was like that, sometimes it is really hard to separate and divide, but then we come back together in new ways. And then it's so amazing and beautiful, the way if we allow grace, So. And thank you for listening if you've stuck with me this far. and I know like that these really are for me too, like, and it's been like a really good practice too, like that I've appreciated being able to choose for myself in the last couple years when I didn't feel like I had anyone to talk to or really express like and share certain things with, because not everyone's like on the level or kind of understands, and it's hard like sometimes to like not to shadow dump on other people, like or our main sources or relationships that we do have. Like I love my husband, and like there's only so much like that I can share with him though, or tell him without him feeling like he's being dumped on. Like, and so like feminine and relationships with women have been really important to me, because like I feel like we do, like as women, like with this feminine energy, like a lot of us there's a lot more emotional need to connect and to process certain things, like that sometimes like the masculine or the male energy, masculine energy doesn't really need to process, because their energy works in a different way, like that's focused in a more linear way, like without like that kind of energy. And so for me, I really did need to develop and cultivate certain feminine relationships, like that do hold the space for those kind of things. And I also needed to like allow a certain space for myself to just be able to hold that for myself and be able to express it in certain ways, like where I didn't have to rely or depend on someone else, like to be the witness or to hold it for me. Like I needed to like just express it through like being me, or like connecting in nature, or through art or creativity, and through writing and journaling. And thank God, like I had those things, and I allowed myself like those things, because man, I would have been popping and bursting and like going crazy, like, and really schizo if I wouldn't have allowed myself to bring forth that which was that which is in you. Bring forth that which is in you. If you do not bring forth that which is in you, that which is in you will destroy you, And if you do bring forth that which is in you, that which is in you will save you. On all of that love, and all of the things really that need to be expressed that aren't encouraged, just all of this, what's seen as a mess, all of these things, to be real and to be true, and we are so easily, sometimes we're so resilient, it's easy to adapt to a fucking mess. And it's no measure of health, it's no measure of true health to be well adapted to a sick society, kind of a thing. And it's just if we haven't had certain role models or outlets or communities or things to be able to express ourselves, hello, it's gonna be acted out or played out in so many dysfunctional, messy ways, I just feel so much compassion for all of us, really, with everything, that we haven't been allowed to be, and how we've suppressed so many things, and how it's playing out in those shadow behaviors and this painful way, because of what hasn't been allowed to be, the shoulds and shouldn't be's. And that's, one of the things that I've been working through and making peace within myself, for me and we. And that's what I can also be grateful for. When I look at this picture of me and my mom, and her gift and her love for me, and her gift of her life, and what she was for me. And so, all those things. I still feel like I want to go through some of these things that I've been clearing, some of these distortions away, because they have been huge for me. And I know how potent this window has been for me, of grief and of healing. And I know I don't need to make it into something that it's not either, and I don't need to be anything that I'm not. And that's part of what I'm letting go of as well. And letting go of the false standards of perfection and what I thought I had to be, what I thought others had to be, for me. For me to feel safe, secure, loved, valued, worthy, all those things, enough, good enough, and everything. And so, super grateful. I just want to share one more thing. Okay, I wanted to share something that I wrote earlier today that I realized. I'm ready to reclaim my power. There's lots of old distortions being cleared away and old illusions being swept away. Ready to reclaim my power and my wholeness in the family of all things, all beings. So open your heart, open your wings and fly. Rooted, connecting earth and sky, the whirling rainbow of truth. We are the bridge. Now is our time. And so I watched 10 of my Alchemy videos yesterday from August 25th, 2022. And then a few, like, of later October, all of December, and my last few from this year of 2023. And all of these messages were for me. I'm still processing in it. I'm taking it all in for me. It felt like a good time to review and take stock and inventory and refresh my perspective and my focus as well. There's been so many distractions and external noise pulling me away from myself. And I'm contemplating the divine will and beingness, and also, like, being the separate doer and the ego's entangled mess. I'm wanting to fix everything, or the ego is wanting to fix everything and make it all right, make it safe and comfortable, wanting others to be proud of me and think well of me, and not wanting to disappoint. So there's feelings, and I've seen that, like the resentment, like certain things, like, but I don't, like, really hold on to them. I just, like, kind of observe them and say, oh, that's interesting. And then I let it go. And it's a lot different now. And so my own feelings of disappointment, LOL, it feels like a big circle jerk sometimes, like getting in that feedback loop sometimes. And kind of going through this disillusionment and disappointment, like, and just because of the rose-colored glasses and the pedestals shattering, breaking. And maybe we all are going through the same form of disillusionment and our collapse of our belief systems and structures. And it's painful, to have our illusion shattered, or it feels painful in the beginning. Lots of stuff comes up with that grief process and the shaman's death and rebirth, the fool's journey home, and breaking through those glass ceilings, those false fence frequencies, like those illusions and the restrictions that we put upon ourselves. The barnacles on my crown, like, that's something I am clearing out. Letting go of the should-bes and shouldn'ts and the old mental patterns and beliefs, rigidities, labels, divisions, judgments, restrictions, differences, blocks, barriers, strategies, old inherited programming. A misuse of energy and energy leaks, trying to be what I'm not, trying to be what I think I should be, what I think others need me to be, what I think or believe I have to be in order to be seen as good enough and worthy. And I'm scared because I don't know everything, and I'm afraid of making mistakes and of harming people because of ignorance and not knowing, and being judged as unworthy, illegitimate. And maybe that is why we do rely heavily on false authority or experts, because we don't want that power, freedom, and responsibility. And I don't want to be anyone's guru or savior, but I do want to help others reconnect to themselves and their own connections and their own inner teacher and their own soul-made life. And maybe that it's, that's what it's all about, is creating that soul-made life. Creating that soul-made life, and not, like, getting it right. So living our life. Living this life. So it's a new focus. Living this life. Living my soul-made life. Loving myself and being true to my life. Myself, my own light, my love, and my life. And so thank you for helping me to remember this. Those old barnacles on my crown. Man, oh man, seeing what that's all about. And starting to see all these old judgments and expectations. Oh, I feel Mom with me. She's wanting me to see me. She's wanting me to see me. And she is so proud of her family and me. She's so grateful to serve and experience our family healing, our collective family healing. there's also like a sigh of relief and a new buoyed wave of strength, trust, and grace. And she sees me with such love, respect, gratitude, and grace. She sees me and she knows my heart. She sees me and she wants that same love for me. So letting go of disappointing myself and family and God, and purging and cleansing and purifying. Yeah, all of this old shit and this spiritual ego image and this old way of seeing or wanting things to be. Because I've been so afraid of rejection and hurt, I felt so afraid of harm and unintentionally harming others. I felt afraid to move forward, afraid of failing and doing it wrong, being wrong, wronging someone or being wronged, hurt and abandoned, feeling wrong. So I'm just remembering too that we all have our stuff, our blind spots and limitations, and we are all learning, remembering, experiencing our own sacred soul's journey, our own journey home. And so allowing our wisdom and folly, our wisdom gained through our folly, I willingly embrace the full, the sacred full. And I remember it's not so serious and nothing is under control. So allow yourself your own space, your own wisdom and your own folly, your own return home to yourself, your own love and space for yourself. So allow all you are and love all you are and free all you are and be all you are. Share all you are. Yeah, and be all you are for the love that you are, for you are, for you are. I am that I am, that I know that I am, and I love that I am, that I am, that I am. And we are, and I know that we are, and I am. And I love all this love that we know that we are, and I am. Yeah, I know that I am, and we are, and I love that we are, and I know that I am. So there is no separation, and there is so much love. And I thank all the love that I am, all this love that I am, that I know that I am, and that God, and then I know I am. Like we are, and all love, and all this love that we are. Creator and creation is one. Giver and receiver is one. Mother and daughter is one. Yeah, all this love, all this beauty, all this one. Yeah, all is one. All love. Yeah, love is one. So, yeah, love y'all. Thank you for listening. And yeah, I love the beginning of this new chapter and this remembrance and the gift, like, of being one. And there's some Edgar Casey quotes that my sister sent me a month ago after my mom died, and they come to mind now about death and life and about how they are one. And when we know that, we have peace and peace within ourselves. And so, yeah, that's huge. Like, all these things coming back to me now, like, to remind me, like, of what's really true. And just being grateful for this experience and the process of grief, and seeing what we can come through, and like all of the gifts really that help us become who we are and come into the gifts of ourself, so we can really be that love that we need for ourselves, and that love that we are for the whole, for the greater whole, and for the whole of ourself. Yeah. which is not separate, and yeah. This love for ourselves. Here's to the love for ourselves, like in all the ways that it's expressed through like our true, free, whole self. Love y'all. Be well.